Hey folks, what's up? This is Adam here, I can see the guy. Welcome to the Movie Vault. Right, next movie review. Reviewing Jurassic Park 3 from 2001. Okay. This will be the last Jurassic Park movie that I'll review, everybody, because I've got no interest in whatsoever in the Jurassic World movies. I've not seen them, but many of you would say, how can you judge them if you've not seen them? I just don't spark my interest. I like to remember Jurassic Park for the first three movies. Including this one, Jurassic Park 3 from 2001. And now I've got no interest at all in the latest Jurassic World movie starring Scarlett Johansson. Got no interest in any of that stuff. But this movie, Jurassic Park 3, it's not a masterpiece of a movie, but I don't think it's the most shittiest movie that I've seen in my life either. I've just got done watching it moments ago so I can review this. I remember watching this back in the day and thinking to myself, I can understand why people hate this movie. Before this movie came out, there was so much hype for this movie. All my friends that saw it before me saying, you need to see Jurassic Park 3, it's the best one, it's better than Jurassic Park 1, it's better than Jurassic Park 2. And I think to myself, better than Jurassic Park 1? I'm really thinking, that's going a bit over the top, isn't it? Because Jurassic Park 1 is one of my top favourite movies of all time. The first Jurassic Park movie is the best. I still think it is the best out of all of the Jurassic Park movies, including the Jurassic World movies. Jurassic Park 1 was done by Steven Spielberg, although Steven Spielberg did Jurassic Park 2. I generally felt, although he did Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, a part of it felt like it wasn't directed by Steven Spielberg. It felt a little off. But I like Jurassic Park 2. I don't like it as much as the first movie. In the first movie, you could tell it was directed by Steven Spielberg. With Sam Neill, and Jeff Goldblum, playing their iconic roles, the whole thing, chaos happening in the park because Dennis Nedry tries to steal the embryos, he shut down all the electricity so the dinosaurs escape, and then the park causes havoc with all the dinosaurs escaping and all that kind of shit. Number 2, they takes place in the city and all that shit. Please see other reviews for my reviews on that movie, but I'm here to talk about Jurassic 3 now from 2001. I can understand why people shit on this movie, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But I just got to watch it moments ago, and I have to admit, I can understand why people shit on this movie. But I can understand why people defend this movie also, because there were some things I liked about this movie, and there were some things I didn't like about the movie. The things I will say that I liked about this movie was the practical effects. The practical effects like the plane crash scene with Sam Neill when he was in the plane crashing into the island. And it was rotating, all the people were in the plane, Good practical effects, where I was told that, like in Jurassic World, it was more mainly CGI. Well, in this one, it was like good camera practical effects, the plane crashing into the island, Sam Neill waking up in the island, realising that they've landed on the island where that was the last thing you wanted in the world. Another good practical effect was the pterodactyl scene, when they was inside the cage, a pterodactyl cage. It was really spooky the way it was done, like with all the fog. And when that pterodactyl was approaching the characters, it was something like out of a horror movie. So good practical effects. I will give it that. The movie is fast paced. It feels like the movie cut right to the chase, because the film opens up with this guy and this kid and they're skydiving, whatever. The people on the boat disappear, indicating that they've been eaten by the dinosaurs, and they both go missing. So meanwhile, Sam Neill's character comes back as Alan Grant, and I like Sam Neill. I'm glad he came back, and I thought he did a pretty good job of portraying Sam, like the Dr. Alan Grant character yet again. He had a lot on his shoulders in the first movie, but it feels like in this third movie, it feels like, just like the first movie, he wanted to be there, and that's a lot more than I can say for Jeff Goldblum's character in like Jurassic Park 2. In Jurassic Park 1, he was very comedic. He felt like he wanted to be there, but in number 2, he felt more serious. And it felt like he didn't really want to be there. You know, there was something that was just off for Jeff Goldblum's character as Doctor, you know, as Ian in part 2. Something felt off. But when Sam Neill comes back for part 3, it feels like he's into it. You know, just like he was in the first Jurassic Park movie. But we learn that he's now split up from his wife. He has a child. His wife now has a new character, has a new boyfriend. And he's teaching the son all about dinosaurs and all that. I think he was about 2 or 3 years old. I can't remember exactly how old he was. But about 2 or 3 years old. There's even a scene where she's like, Alan, he's only 3 or 4. Let's wait till he's 6 or something like that. I can't remember the exact age, isn't there? Even though I've just watched it moments ago. I can't remember the exact age numbers of his son. Anyhow, this rich couple, who's the parents of the son who got lost at the start of the film, are offering Alan Grant, Sam Neill's character, tons of money to go with them to go and try and find his son. And he was saying throughout the whole film that nothing's getting him back on the island, but at the same time his business is not doing well. You know, why invest money in digging up dinosaur bones when there's real dinosaurs on the island and all that kind of thing. So eventually he gives in to an offer and he goes with them, providing they don't land on the island. He'll fly above the island in a plane, but he won't exactly go onto the island. But things come to the worst, he gets knocked unconscious and they do land. And then they get attacked, you know, by the dinosaurs, and then the plane gets destructed and they're stuck on the island trying to find the kid. You know. And one thing I will say about the kid, I thought he acted in really well. I thought he acted really well in this movie. I mean, he wasn't annoying, he wasn't a dipshit, he wasn't cocky, he wasn't irritating or anything like that, because there's a scene where he rescues Sam Neill. You know, he says he steals T-Rex pee to scare away the velociraptors and all that kind of shit. You know, so they have to create like this bond ship. You know. Now, I've already mentioned that the good things about this movie is the practical effects. And this movie is, like, right to the point. But there's 2 things I can think of the way people shit on this movie. Number one, it didn't feel like a movie. It felt like an episode of a TV series. That's one thing I will say. Imagine if you made a TV series based on Jurassic Park and then you made an episode of Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park 3 felt like it was like an episode of that TV series because it felt really straight to the point. It really got straight into the plot. And there was no messing around or very long dragging fast timing. It just cut right to the chase. You know, introduces Sam Neill real quick, getting on the plane real quick, crashing onto the island real quick, you know, finding the boy real quick. And it was all so sudden, everything was happening all at once. There was no like dragging scenes or like adding the fast pace. So I can understand when people say like it didn't feel like a Jurassic Park movie because it was so really fast. Everything was happening all at the same time. And we can never forget the scene that everyone complains about when the Spinosaurus kills the T-Rex. You know, when I watched this for the first time and the Spinosaurus killed the T-Rex, I'm thinking, man, that was a waste. You know what I mean? Considering the T-Rex was the main dinosaur that caused havoc in Jurassic Park 1 and 2, and they did everything that they could to stop the T-Rex in Part 1 or 2. Here it is like a half a minute fight with a Spinosaurus, and the Spinosaurus automatically kills the T-Rex. And I think to myself, what a waste. You know what I mean? But I understand why they did it. They wanted to make the Spinosaurus look more stronger, more predator type of a type of character, you know. But I can understand why people got pissed off and they defend the T-Rex. You know, they say in reality the T-Rex would have killed the Spinosaurus, but the Spinosaurus was the new dinosaur. You know, it seemed on the front cover, as you can see to my right here, that the Spinosaurus is on the main cover of a Jurassic Park. You know, the Jurassic Park cover of Jurassic Park 3. So it's one big hunt. I mean, they also introduced a new character by the name of Billy, who was like Sam Neill's assistant. They do try and add a little bit more to the plot, whether it's him stealing dinosaur eggs or anything like that. You know, there's a scene where we thought he got killed, but he appears in the chopper at the end. He's like, "I've saved your hat," you know. So he saved Sam Neill's hat, you know, big deal. And what more can I say? It goes from scene to scene, place to place, from the plane wreckage to the havoc on the island to the pterodactyl cage. You know, there's a scene where the pterodactyl grabs the kid to try and feed its baby pterodactyls. You know, there's even like a vending machine scene, you know, where they keep the vending machine, steal food and all that kind of shit. What made me laugh was my father, because he did not like the actress T in this movie. You know, he said to himself, "God, I wish the dinosaurs would hurry up and eat her, because she was like always causing havoc for the dinosaurs to come and get them. You know, falling from the tree or whatever, hanging from the tree while the velociraptors are running up and trying to eat her." You know, we learn a little bit more scenes about the communication with the dinosaurs. You know, whether you're blown into a shell that's making velociraptor sounds, and I don't know. Jurassic Park 3, it felt like they was trying to come up with new ideas for the audience. I mean, Jurassic Park 1 and 2 seemed like a walk in the park. It was there on script, and it was like there, basically. But here in Jurassic Park 3, it seemed like they were scratching around for ideas. For example, Sam Neill's character, him and his wife were having a divorce. Did we really need to know that? No, but it was just there. The fact of him getting hired to find the boy, again, another idea, but was it really needed? No. The dinosaurs communicating when blown into the shell, I mean, that was all thrown in as well at the same time. But you could tell in Jurassic Park 3 they was running out of ideas. You know, you could tell easily. But again, I'm not saying this film is the shittest Jurassic Park film, but compared to the first three movies, Jurassic Park 1, Jurassic Park 2, Jurassic Park 3, this is the weakest installment. I will say it's the weakest installment. Like I say, I can't judge the Jurassic World movies because I've not seen those, but I don't want to see those. Because after seeing Jurassic Park 3, I was like, that's it, I'm done with the Jurassic Park movies, I don't want to see any more. And people are going to cause hype about the latest Jurassic Park movie because Scarlett Johansson's in it. Big fucking deal, you know what I mean? I'm the biggest Scarlett Johansson fan, you know what I mean? So, I mean, she's hot, don't get me wrong, but you know what to expect from a Jurassic World movie when she's in it, you know what I mean? But I've got no complaints from the acting, I've got no complaints from the practical effects. In fact, those are things I will say that were positive about the film. The fact it happens at fast pace was something different. It cut straight to the point, and that's the point where it felt like it was a very short movie. You know, Jurassic Park 3 does feel like a very short movie. I can't recall how long it was on for, but it felt like a very short movie, like an episode out of a TV series. That's what it felt like. You know, but at the end of the day, Sam Neill, he was the lead role. I thought he did a great job of his role, coming back as Dr. Alan Grant. You didn't get that expression from him that he was bored or he didn't want to be in the film. He was having the time of his life while making Jurassic Park 3, just like in Jurassic Park 1. When you compare him to like Ian Grant's character, you know straight away that there was a difference between the two, you know. Like I mentioned at the start of this review, Ian Grant didn't feel like he wanted to be there in Jurassic Park 2 because he wasn't comedic like he was in the first movie or anything like that. But Jurassic Park 3, it's not one I'd see over and over again. Definitely not. I mean, Jurassic Park 1 I'll see any time of the week. It's in my top 15 favourite movies of all time, the first Jurassic Park movie. But Jurassic Park 3 and 2, I've only seen a couple of times, you know, and like I said, I've just seen it moments ago so I can review this movie. And again, I wouldn't rewatch it again. You know, not when you got a masterpiece like Jurassic Park 1 directed by Steven Spielberg. That's all I've got to say, everybody. That's my review for Jurassic Park 3. That's where they're going to end right here. So, Please like, rate, and comment, and leave all your comments below. Thanks, everyone. Peace out.